Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to those of you who are here for the first time for the Spiritual Maintenance Plan. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful program. This is week 4 in our time to get spiritual, which is awesome. And I hope you've been able to catch up on some of the replays, or that you've been able to join in the last couple of weeks to help you really connect into your spirit and to ground into your light, and to really hopefully open up your heart to working with some of your spiritual team and inviting them to participate a little bit deeper in your life. I'm really hoping that this spiritual maintenance plan has been an opportunity for you to test the waters with the archangels, the ascended master teachers, with the 7 healing rays. And today we are really going to work a little bit on your light body maintenance. We're going to do some energy clearing work, and not just energy clearing work, because I think sometimes as healers and self-healers, we think a little bit too much about what we need to fix, what we need to edit, what is wrong with us is oftentimes a question that we ask when we approach our healing. But we don't always ask the question that's even more important, is what's right with us, and how do I increase my shine? How do I increase my blessings? How do I use my innate beautiful essence to manifest more of these great qualities that we want to experience, that we want to be in the world? And so not only are we going to hunt down things that might be actually wrong with you, like clearing some cords and balancing some chakras tonight, but we're also going to really open up your access to your beautiful inner light and give you a way to shine that a little bit brighter. So I hope you guys have had a phenomenal day. And if we're not waiting for too many more people, Joelle, maybe we'll just jump right in, because I've got a couple of things that I want to cover with you, and perhaps I will break this up into a 2-part so you can have shorter meditations and a little bit of downtime in between, an opportunity to ask some questions, or to just kind of take a breather in the in-between space if you so need to. Okay, so Joelle, are we waiting for a lot of people still? We got a couple more that are plugging in still.
Yeah, I think a couple coming, but we can get started.
Okay, so all right, so you do me a favor, don't close your eyes just yet, okay? give me a couple minutes with your eyes on the list to let people in. Awesome. Terry, you are glowing green again tonight. It looks so cute on you. You look like you got green hair. Perfect. All right, my friends. So in the spirit of tonight's program, part of my monthly spiritual maintenance plan is really about making sure that your light body is optimized, that you are in a space where you have access to plenty of high vibrational energy, that your chi is flowing, that your chakras are online and doing what they're supposed to be doing, so that you can really have a happy human experience. When your light is flowing, when you are grounding yourself, when you are connecting through your channel of light, when you don't have energetic cords of attachment or hooks and chains and things like that that are holding you back from certain places, then you are just very naturally going to be able to flow in your energy so much easier. You are going to have much more gracefulness, more synchronicity in your life. You're going to have an easier time feeling good. And that just doesn't mean physically feeling good, but it means emotionally feeling good, sleeping better, having an easier access to lightheartedness and light-mindedness, and really just being able to connect a little bit deeper with life itself, with your friends, with your family, with your goals and your dreams. There's plenty of stuff out there that is ready to stop your action and to slow down your light. So stress in the world of ego is very, very common. And I hate to say this, but nobody's going to stop the world from moving forward to give you time to breathe. You're going to have to take time to breathe. This is your time to do exactly that. This is your time to tune into you and maintain your body and maintain your energy. And so I'm not sure what kind of spiritual practice you already have that facilitates that. Perhaps you are a Reiki practitioner or a quantum healer, or maybe you do mindfulness meditation, or you have other spiritual practices that are helping you on a daily or weekly or even monthly basis to kind of check in and to ground into your light and make sure that it's flowing. But this is one example of what I hope to be very useful information, many experiences of helping your light to become, like I said earlier, optimized. So don't be surprised if you do see some guides. Don't be surprised if you do see some guardians. Don't be surprised if you feel if you feel or sense or know and pick up information really from any of your psychic senses, because I'm expecting that for each and every one of you. And don't be too surprised if you have some emotional breakthroughs, which, like it or not, sometimes looks like emotional breakdowns before you can feel the good, happy stuff coming up right behind that flow. Okay. So, whatever it is that you need for your healing tonight, be really open to that. You might have an idea of the kinks that are in your system, but keep an open heart, keep an open mind, and let's just see what happens. And we're going to tune in and vibrate together. Okay. All right. So, enough talking. Let's get to meditating. Let's begin by bringing our hands together, my beautiful friends. And as you do so, I'm going to remind you of a message that I got from beautiful Lady Kuan Yin this morning. And she says, these are your divine instruments. These are your instruments to touch the world and to offer your blessings. And so as you bring your hands together, take a minute and just slow that whole process down. It seems like such a simple action, but I want you to really just press your palms together and close your eyes simultaneously. And be really mindful of every little step tonight. Just slow everything down because I want you to feel your energy. Okay. So as you bring your palms together and you close your eyes, notice everything about you in one quick breath, in one simple instance, in that gentle pressure when your palms come together. Feel the wholeness of your being. And on that first big open-hearted breath, open-minded breath, just be yourself. You know, I call my school Being You for a reason. There's nothing more magnificent than just being you. And even before we rush into fixing or attuning ourselves, I want you to just be exactly as you are in this moment. And so pressing your palms together very gently, kind of hold them up against your heart. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Notice I haven't even rubbed my hands together. Just tune into your breathing. Feel the rhythms of your body. Become aware of your surroundings and the energy field that is around your body. Just give your senses a moment to make friends with each other and to help you to take inventory of every single part of you. Notice from the very top of your head to the bottoms of your feet, from the front and the back of your body. Is there anything that's going on? Anything that feels tight? Anything that feels too loose? How does your body feel overall? Take a moment and notice how you are breathing. Don't change your breathing. Don't regulate your breathing. But just take a moment and notice your breathing. Is it slow? Is it fast? Is it regulated? Is your pause longer on the inhale or longer after you exhale? How deep is your breath going into your abdomen? And if your breathing feels tight, ask yourself, where am I holding tightness? Where can I open up my breathing? Continue to focus with your palms pressed together. And now pay attention to the balance of your body. Again, we're not changing anything. We're not fixing anything. We're just taking notes. So look at the left hemisphere of your physical body and the right hemisphere of your physical body. And just imagine those two counterparts, left and right. Does the energy within you, does the power within you, does the concentration within you feel evenly distributed? Now pay attention also in the same way to the front half of your body and the back half of your body. So divide yourself in half from the front of you to the back of you. The back oftentimes represents the past. The front of you represents the future. So as you pay attention to the distribution of energy, notice, where are you holding more energy? Are you balanced between the past, the present, and the future? And now with your hands resting at your heart, notice that the heart chakra is the center chakra of your 7 chakra system inside of your body. And so just begin to envision the energy above your heart versus the energy below your heart. And notice, where do you distribute your energy in these 2 senses? So this can oftentimes be interpreted as your spirituality, which is everything above your heart. Those chakras govern your upper chakras, and your lower chakras, which govern over your humanity, your physicality. And then breathe right into the very center of your heart and see if you can tell how open your heart chakra feels. And again, no judgment here. Perhaps you've had a not very emotional kind of a day. And if that's the case, not a problem. Maybe your heart just needs a little bit of extra boost to open itself up. So as you press your hands together and close your eyes and deepen your connection to your heart, just feel your breath coming in, feel your breath going out, and allow yourself to deepen your breath now. Now we're going to start moving some energy around your body. We've begun this beautiful meditation by just tuning in to what is in your physicalness, what is in your energetic body, what is in your breath work. And it's important when you start a meditation like this and when you balance your energy to really just learn to listen to yourself. You learn to pay attention without interference. One of my biggest tools, I would say, in energetic maintenance is really just learning to listen. Learn to tune into the mind. And as you tune to the mind, notice the state of consciousness that you are in right now. Is your mind all stressed out? Is it distracted? Is it multitasking? Is it crystal clear? Is it singularly focused? Is it completely blank or totally too full? What does your consciousness feel like? What does your mind feel like? Just take a moment and notice the thoughts that are coming to you. And like a river of consciousness, just let one thought go by, one after the other. Don't engage. Don't argue. Don't get confused. Just notice the thoughts that are coming through. And of course, continue your breathing, continue feeling that beautiful oxygen coming into your body. Continue to practice the art of presence. Now I want you to turn to your emotional body. And your emotional body is really the field of your entirety. It's not just your heart chakra. It's not just your solar plexus. You have emotions and energetic beingness in every single part of your being. There is energy that is expressed throughout you. So in a general way, just kind of take a look at your emotions that you're feeling right now. And just like you observed your consciousness, notice whatever emotions are coming up for you for the next few moments. Don't judge them. Don't try to understand them. Just take inventory. Just be present. I'm taking a big, beautiful, deep breath. I want you to tune in one more time into your physical body, not just the body that is your tissues, not where your skin ends, but I want you to kind of tune into your entire field of influence, even your auric body as part of your body. So perhaps starting from the very center line of your being, where your central channel is, and moving outwards from there, just intuitively scan through your physicalness and notice if there's any blockages, any disturbances in your force, if there's disruptions in your ley lines, your channels and meridians. Now, I know you probably don't know where every single one of those is, but I just want you intuitively to feel maybe the quadrants of your aura. Take a look and see where your attention is being drawn. You might not know why you're getting your attention drawn there, but I want you to just make a note to self. Something's there. When you do this throughout your aura, you might intuitively pick up on psychic attacks. You might notice the vibration from a chakra that's not quite in the right vibration. You might sense energetic cords or even karmic cords that are penetrating your field of awareness. You might feel the technology of like your light body in some way not functioning properly. So just notice whatever you notice. And again, don't get tripped up by it. Don't try and fix it. Just notice what you're noticing. And know that it's okay also if you don't notice anything. It's very possible that everything's okay. And taking a nice big deep breath, just take a few more moments and really just kind of feel 360 degrees around your body. And don't forget to look above your head, below your feet, just slightly into the earth. At any moment, if you're more comfortable, you can put your hands in your lap. That's not a problem. Just be comfortable however you choose to be. And now I want you to take a look at the structure of the auric bubble that is around your body. Notice that there is a force field of light at the edges of your aura, what they call your aura, although there are many, many layers to your aura. So really what you're looking at is the perimeter, a beautiful sphere of light at the first layer of your aura. The aura that exists between the soul star above you and the earth star chakra beneath you, and the sphere that is created around your body. So I want you to take a minute and just scan that shield. See if you can sense if the shield is smooth, is it bright and vibrant, is it thick and strong, are there any dents, scratches, any other disturbances or markings anywhere on this shield, inside or out. Use your imagination here, guys, because I know some of this stuff is new to you, but it's not new to your spirit. Your soul knows exactly how to do these things. Are there any tears in your aura? Are there any places that you might be leaking energy? And again, don't judge it. Don't fix or repair it. We're going to come back in and really do some clearing work and some healing work. Pump your force field up. But right now, I really just want you to practice observing yourself. Are there places in your auric shield where there are vulnerabilities? Are there places in your shield where your ego has created patches or additional egoic force fields that are maybe a little bit too strong, blocking out the good stuff? And now in general, I got one more thing for you to look at, and then we are going, well, two more things. So two more things, and then we're going to start doing some work here. I want you to take a look now at your roots, how you're grounding in this moment. Now, don't cause yourself to ground. I just want you to observe, how grounded are you in this moment? How are you grounding? Don't make any assumptions. Like, it doesn't have to look like roots coming down from a tree, which is a common visualization. How are you in this moment grounding yourself? Are you connecting to the earth? Are you connecting to the energetic substance of this earth, to the nurturing that's available here? If you are to scan the space underneath your auric field, can you sense that you are tapping into the beauty, the richness, the abundance, the nourishment of the earth plane energies? And how strong are those roots? How strong is that connection? And again, no judgment, just notice. Complementary to this, as you turn your inner attention upwards, how connected are you to your spiritual source? And again, don't create anything, just observe. Is your channel open? How open is it? Is the light bright and beautiful through your channel? Or is it dark and dull? How do you open up to your higher guidance? And are you plugged in? Are you connecting to the absolute source of all of life? No matter what you call that, whether you say source or God or goddess or universe or creator or creation, oneness, love, light, however you connect to that infinite allness energy, allow yourself to know how that connection is being made and become aware of how you could perhaps make it stronger. Take a look now at your Merkaba, which is your spiritual shield. This is a force field of light that holds your spirit and your body beautifully in fusion with all of life. And notice the size and the shape and the structure of your energetic shield, your Merkaba. Do not make any assumptions about what it should or should not look like. And if you've never heard the word Merkaba, don't even worry about it. Like I said, your spirit knows what I'm talking about. So take a look at the sacred geometry that is truly your outermost force field. And as you scan that, notice how bright and strong the lines of light are. Is your Merkaba on or is it off? I should say, is it dormant? Does it feel powerful? Does it feel anything? Do you feel connected to this Merkaba as a protective shield, as an intuitive guidance field? What is your relationship to your Merkaba in this moment? And so now one final thing, my friends. Tuning into your entirety. Notice in this moment, without changing anything, how bright do you feel? What is the quality of your beingness? What is your overall sensation? And it's okay to have more than one answer for this. But just kind of take a compilation read on everything about your vibration in this moment. How energetic do you feel? How bright or how dim are you feeling right now? How loving do you feel? And how much love are you feeling? So now, my friends, bring your hands back together and press your palms once again into prayer position and bring them into your heart chakra. Bringing everything you've just observed about yourself right into the center of your heart, right into the center of your hands. Remember with me that you have the power to adjust, to change, to heal, and to brighten, and to attune every single part of you that we have just observed. Feel your entirety compressed into one beautiful spark inside of your beautiful hands. And taking a nice deep breath, remember that you have the power over this energetic light body. You are the master of your consciousness. You are the only sovereign being who has free will to express throughout this entire field of energy. That is you. And as you joyfully remember that responsibility to yourself, do not be afraid of your power. Do not be afraid of not knowing how to regulate yourself. Simply choose in this moment to take responsibility for your well-being, for your energeticness, and for the impact that your energy has on your entire life force field. Remember, you are the power here. Remember that it is your love and your consciousness that exists through your body, your mind, and your spirit. And as you take a couple of nice, beautiful, deep breaths, remember your original divine spark, the perfection of your being. Remember your impenetrable light, your never-ending grace. Remember your absolute freedom. And then take a beautiful deep breath, filling yourself with great power, great peace, great presence. And as you exhale, open the heart chakra. So taking a deep breath, come on back ever so gently. And we're going to share some thoughts and some feelings about whatever you saw, whatever you sensed. And then we're going to do some repair work and maintain your beautiful energetic body. So when you are ready, my friends, you can open your eyes, take a big deep breath, maybe stretch a little bit, and come on back. I want to hear what you observed and kind of troubleshoot with you just a little bit to make sure you get the most out of tonight's program. Woo! Take a big deep breath. Is everybody back? Yes. All right. So I wanted to show you, before we did any clearing or energizing, that you have the ability to really be present and aware of any part of your body that you want to take a look at. And you can think of this like spiritual X-ray vision. You have the right to take a look at your arms, your cells, your vibration, your chakras, your lines of light, your space outside of your body, above you, below you, inside of you, outside of you, a little bit everywhere. So I wanted to take you on an exploration of yourself so you could see a little bit more of you than you've probably ever seen before. All right. And I'm curious to know if you guys have anything that stood out for you. Did you notice something that surprised you? I know for some of you, when I said, let's go see your Merkaba, you're like, what? A Merkaba? What? What's that? That is your spirit shield. So even without knowing what your Merkaba is, your Merkaba knows exactly what I'm talking about. And when your spirit is told to look at your Merkaba, I promise your spirit knows exactly what I'm talking about. So let's take a deep breath. I'm opening up the floor here. You guys jump in either in the chat or by raising your hand and let me know, what did you notice in yourself? General observations or very specifics, 100% up to you. Who wants to share? Leslie, you got your hand up. And Sonia, you got your hand up. Let's do Leslie first, and then Sonia, you'll be next, my love. Okay. Leslie, are you unmuted?
Hi.
Hi, love. What jumped
Can you
out?
hear me?
Yep, gotcha. Nope, can't hear you anymore. No. Leslie,
What jumped out at me? About the dentist.
whoa, hold on. Leslie, I'm not sure if you can hear me, love, but your sound is coming in 1 out of 20 words. So do me a favor. How
Can you hear me
about,
now?
yes, much better.
No. Can you hear me?
Nope. And Leslie, you're muted now. All right, Leslie, figure out your sound for a second. Sonia, I'm going to come over to you, my love. Let's lower your hand. And when you're ready, Sonia, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Leanne. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
I didn't experience anything, honestly. I didn't. But it was very strange as we were meditating. We had a blackout. So now I have my son coming, running over to my room, telling me, hey, what's going on? What's going on? So I lost concentration and then I went back, but I still didn't see anything. When you mentioned the Merkaba, my mind obviously wanted to go to the I seen those crystals that they make them, shape of Merkaba.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, no, I don't want to see that because, I don't want to be looking at stuff that I'm not supposed to, my mind looking at stuff like that. But then I saw something at that point, I believe it was, and I don't know if it was my mind, it was trying like to place it in a specific place. First it was up and then I saw it down. That's all I saw. But honestly, I didn't see much. I don't know. I guess I will have to replay this again and see it. So I just wanted to share that I didn't see anything really.
That's okay, Sonia. And actually, I'm really glad that you brought this up. How many of you guys swear up and down you didn't see anything? Show of hands. Nobody else. Okay. All right. If and when, oh, Bernice. Okay, good. Got you. So guys, when you, and Elaine, good. Okay. So not everybody is visual. Rosie, I got you too. I see a couple of hands up. Okay. So not everybody is visual in meditation. And Sonia, I know you. Sometimes you are and sometimes you're not. You have a lot of beautiful talents, psychically speaking. And so sometimes, guys, when you're at those levels of your body and you're looking inside or outside, it doesn't only come to you informationally as seeing. You have so many, dare I even say, better talents than seeing. So when you don't see, I want you to know what you're getting informationally speaking. Okay. This is going to sound a little bit weird, but many people who want to see are actually claircognizant. And I've been both. I have both talents. When I first started meditating, I was 100% visual. with zero claircognizance, which means that I saw everything, but I understood nothing. And in my spiritual training, at one point, my movie of my mind totally shut down and turned off. It was almost like my third eye closed and refused to open back up. And I didn't know why. I didn't argue with it. I kind of went with it. And fortunately speaking, I could still feel my guides. I could still feel the information that was coming through. So I had my clairsentience, which was partnering with my clairvoyance. And I still had that part. So I was like, okay, good. And then my team in spirit started developing my claircognizance, my ability to know. So if I were to say to you, what does your auric shield, the bubble of your aura, look like? And you're not visual, then hear my words as, what do you know about your shields? Okay. If you were to picture in your imagination, which is not the same thing as a visualization. Okay. Visualization is waiting for an image to come into you or to imagine that you could see it outside of you. But when you're claircognizant, one of the most important tools you have is to use this field of imagination. And I really want you guys to use this really amazing tool. It's not a field of make-believe. If I said to you, imagine a sphere of protection, imagine your security perimeter and picture what that looks like, you might think all of a sudden of a castle. All right. Your mind might know that you are walking the moat around your castle because that would be the edge of your perimeter. That would be you doing a security scan of your perimeter. So go with that feeling in your imagination. If you are looking at your security shield and you're seeing like a warrior shield around you, but that doesn't come across as a 360-degree shield, don't worry about it. You're still looking at your shield. So if you actually see like a Roman shield, take a look at your shield and see, are there scratches? Are there dents? What am I picking up on informationally? Okay. And being a knower is really tricky because it's confusing to know if you know what you know because you're intuiting knowing, or if your mind is making up the information. And so the way to know the difference between the two is that there's really a feeling when you are in knowingness. All right. One of the really cool things that Sonia had going on is she had a blackout. It's very possible that you just didn't get into the meditation, not because you're not a seer, not because you're not a feeler, not because you're not a knower. It's literally because somebody in your world actually was about to need you. And had you dipped into meditation and taken off, you just spiritually might not have been available, Sonia. So no big deal. That was like your 5 minutes to literally be on the planet because the world wasn't ready to let you go into meditation. So don't stress out about that. And yes, it's recorded. We'll be happy to send it to you and you can do it again. Okay. But there's also a really cool message there. When you say you saw nothing, you metaphorically also got a message. There's a blackout. And when you see and sense a blackout and you're in nothingness, then guys, you've just dipped into the void. It's an infinite field of raw, pure potential. There's nothingness until you decide, where am I going to put my attention? So if you find yourself in those nothingness moments in this healing meditation that we're about to do, I want you to just be creative. If you don't see a shield, make a shield, create it literally out of nothing. And as I prompt you to say, make it strong, make it invincible, make it beautiful, do it. Okay. In that nothingness, there is also everythingness. And again, that void is a tricky thing if you've never been familiar with it in meditation, but it is absolutely a field of creativity. You may as well be an artist standing in front of a 360-degree beautiful canvas, and the canvas is so not even there that you have to create the canvas. But then once you think of a canvas, boom, everything's a canvas. And as soon as you need a paint or color, it's there for you. So just use the magic of your mind to create. Okay, so those are a couple pointers. And Sonia, I thank you so much for bringing that up. For those of you who did not get visualizations, I want you also not just to use your imagination and to trust your knowing. I want you to cross-reference a little bit with your feelings. If you get a feeling for yes and you get a feeling for no, that's an answer to your question. A feeling for yes might be a wave of warmth. And a feeling for no could be a wave of coolness. Perhaps you're wired that way. If you're not sure how your feelings communicate to you, invite your feelings or your sensational body to give you just those two answers. Sit with a yes and see what you sense. What do you feel? Does joy come to you? Does love come to you? Does peace come to you? Is there a quality in your feelingness that a yes answer gives you? And it could be a texture, it could be a quality, it could be a feeling emotionally, it could be a feeling sensationally. You might gravitationally get pulled this way for a yes and gravitationally get pulled this way for a no. I'm not sure where you're going to get. Everybody's different, but there's so many ways to tune into your body. So ask your feelings and your sensations. Show me a yes, show me a no. And that way, when I ask a question like, do you have an energetic cord here? You get the response from your clairsentience, and your body has a way to respond to you. So part of the spiritual maintenance program, guys, it's a learning process, and you're going to learn as we go through these weeks how to work a little bit more with your psychic gifts, with your intuition, how you function, how you're wired, and all that good stuff. Okay. So please know that if I say see something, but you're not a seer, don't get tripped up. If I say feel something and you're not a feeler, then bring it into your knowing. When I use any of those words, just kind of cross-reference all your psychic senses and figure out, what are you getting? You're getting something. You're getting something. I will guarantee you are getting something. So ask yourself, what am I getting moment to moment? What do I get? What do I understand? What do I know? What do I feel? What do I sense about my heart chakra in this moment? What do I feel or what do I sense about the front versus the back half of my body? And maybe notice that you're leaning forward. Well, that might mean that you've got extra energy in the front, not so much in the back. So maybe you're running into the future and you just got to kind of slow it down, bring it back to the present. If everything's pulling you backwards and you got all the weight behind you, well, maybe you're carrying just a little too much luggage and we just need to work on that. Okay. So this is such a great practice, guys, even daily, just to sit and breathe and practice tuning into yourself. Take yourself on that same journey: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, inside, outside, upside, downside, backside, front side, in every different part. Just tune your mind and your senses to any part of you and start practicing really picking up information about your energy. It's such a valuable tool. Okay. So Leslie, do you have your sound on, my love? Did you want to pop back in here and ask your question, or does anybody else have anything that they want to share about their experience? Sandy, I see your finger up. Let's unmute you.
Okay. I came in late because I just noticed your email. So as soon as I noticed it, I registered. So I only came in at the Merkaba. But as soon as I love visualizations, it's like creating your own movie.
It is. And then being the star of your movie.
Yeah. So so when you said it was a protective shield, I saw a bubble, and I saw it had like pink and green kind of reflecting lights on the outside. And I didn't have to do anything. It was just there, and it protected me. It was just, that was it. I didn't, there was no, it was done.
That's very cool. Actually, the image of a sphere like that is probably the sphere around your aura that you saw, because your Merkaba doesn't typically look like, and I'm not telling you you're wrong, because it's very possible you do have a spherical aura, Merkaba. However, oftentimes the sphere that is seen in the Merkaba is the part that's inside of it. So next time when I call out your Merkaba, zoom out just a little bit and look at what's around the sphere, because that's where you're going to start seeing some really cool sacred geometric lines. Kind of like if you were to see a skyscraper built before the walls were put up, you would see the lines, the rebar. And your Merkaba oftentimes looks like that, like it's a structure of light that has very cool sacred geometry to it. Sometimes they're complicated, sometimes they're not complicated. One of the typical images that people see when they're told that they have a Merkaba is a four-sided pyramid pointing upwards, crisscrossed with an inverted pyramid pointing downwards, kind of like a three-dimensional Star of David. But I find that that's too simplified, and not, even if that's what your Merkaba is, it doesn't always show itself to you looking like that. Okay. So it's okay to think outside of the box. Oftentimes when you see your Merkaba, while it might have that original structure to it, it will probably show you the sacred geometry form of your actual light body's function. So for example, if you are a generator of energy, if your force field just does that, it pumps and 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 generates energy 24/7. If that's how you're wired in your soul and your frequency, then you might see a nuclear reactor if you're visual. Okay. Your metaphor might be something that speaks to your function in the world. And so if you see all of a sudden you're asking to see your Merkaba and you see a nuclear reactor and you're like, oh my God, what's that? That's something that creates fusion, that creates energy. That's a place where energy is processed. Okay, very cool. Go with the metaphor. Don't get tripped up by some of your imagery. So don't worry too much if you saw something other than those inverted pyramids. Okay. So that's really great, Cindy. I'm glad that you got to see the Merkaba. That's awesome. And next time, just kind of look a little bit further out and see if you can pick up on the structure of it also. Okay. Not just the stuff inside. That's awesome. Terry, I see your hand up, my love. Want to share?
So I started getting hijacked and I said, oh, this is not good at the beginning of the meditation, but the cloak of sleep took me over. But
wait,
then,
what took you over?
The cloak of sleep. I started falling asleep. I said, that's not good. And 2 minutes into this, I'm falling asleep. Because normally I can see the aura, I can go ahead and practice and see the layers, but I wasn't seeing anything. Then all of a sudden, clear as day, I mean, I saw like a patch right in my heart. It was so cool. It was red behind it. It was red binding around it. And there was like, it was so intense, but I didn't want to like stare at it because but I thought that was interesting. I got it right in the heart and I said, oh, well, I thought I would share with that. I don't know what that meant.
Okay, but that's cool. So you notice something, there's a patch on your heart. So again, metaphorically, symbolic, you might notice something that is a real world metaphor to tell you that something in your heart that maybe once got hurt, got fixed. And this is the repair job that's already on your heart space. Okay. And perhaps there's more to explore. Perhaps it's time to take that patch off. There's many times that I've seen band-aids on top of people's hearts when I'm doing healing sessions, because a band-aid is a really great metaphor for me to say, not that you had a band-aid, but I oftentimes see something like a band-aid. And if I see a band-aid, I know that I need to take the band-aid off and there's a wound underneath there. And that's where we start our healing. So
it wasn't that.
I'm not saying it was.
Like a Boy Scout badge.
Okay.
Like little badges, or if it was like
a badge.
Like
I apologize.
Badge. Or like if somebody like in the military, if they got something, they got badge. I thought it was really cool. It wasn't a Band-Aid. It was
I understood patch. Patch, not badge, badge.
Maybe that's what I said.
Heard patch. Okay. Well, either way, that's a great symbol for having strength or having a reward or there's a feeling that would probably go with that for you. So again, I'm just trying to kind of show you guys that as you're scanning your body, and we're going to do this a little bit more in our next piece, I want you to take those metaphors that you get or the images that you create in your imagination, and I want you to work with them. Don't get tripped up by them, because when you're doing energetic clearing work, this is one of the most important tools that I've ever learned how to master, is to not reject anything. Just go with whatever you are getting. And if you think you're getting nothing, take a breath. Don't get frustrated. If you're getting frustrated, then you are getting something. You're getting frustration as a message. Okay. And even your feelings can get a message. Like one of the things that you said, Terry, was after 2 minutes or not, maybe not even into that, all of a sudden you're feeling tired, like you wanted to fall asleep. That is not necessarily an informational piece that's telling you that you are tired, you should hang up and go to bed. It could be I'm scanning my aura to see if there's anything that I need, and I'm picking up on the energy and the frequency of exhaustion. Something might be exhausted. Your emotions, if we were looking at the emotions in that moment and all of a sudden you want to pass out, you could be like, oh man, I'm emotionally exhausted here. Okay, great. Note to self. Thank you for the information. Okay. So one of the big healing tricks is to learn what your metaphors are, guys. And don't take this lightly. Don't take this like a waste of time in your conversation. If you can learn to pick up on your metaphors, you'll see them recurring when different things happen. I'll give you a perfect example. You guys have all heard about energetic cords, correct? I'm sure everybody's pretty much heard about energetic cords and how sometimes they have an influence on our body. Sometimes they penetrate our hearts. Sometimes they influence our minds. Sometimes they just hold us back, or we leak energy to the people that we stay connected to for far too long. Some of them are useful, some of them aren't. Okay, perfect example. So if I'm looking for an energetic cord and I'm doing a body scan on myself, there are a number of different symbols that I might see when I'm looking for an energetic cord. And it's not always just a tube of light. I might see a sword stabbing me somewhere. Let's see that I got a sword going right in here and it's piercing all the way through. If I see a sword in any part of my body, when I'm looking for an energetic cord, that means that I have been literally penetrated by something or someone, or some experience is still hurting me. There's a cord here. Just because I'm getting a sword, I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm still looking at a cord. It's just showing up as a sword so that I know what kind of a cord. So if I see a sword and it's penetrating me, oftentimes there's some kind of an attack. There's some kind of a betrayal. There's some kind of a negative infraction from another person, not for me, because I would never stab myself with a sword in my repertoire. Now you might, I don't know, maybe that's part of your repertoire, but I never see swords that people have given to themselves. I see other things when that happens. So if I'm seeing a sword, I know that there's something there that really needs to be healed, and it requires courage. We have to heal something that's called pain. We have to let go of something and bring something new in. And that's the solution to cutting a sword, a sword cord. The other thing is that if I see a sword, I know that the one that I want to partner with is 100% of the time going to be Archangel Michael, because he has a sword. So it might not even be that I'm being hurt by something, although that's usually the cause of it. But it could just be a way of my spirit knowing who to call on to help. And the sword represents Michael. Okay. So when you get a symbol that's new to you, something that's really important is to ask, what does this mean? And the next time you get it, ask again. And the next time you get it, ask it again. Because as you get it multiple times, you're just going to be able to affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm what this personal symbol to me means. Okay, so back to how different cords can show up differently. Sometimes I see arrows. Sometimes I see spears. Sometimes I see harpoons. Sometimes I see hooks. If I see hooks, there's like 3 different kinds of hooks that I see. Are they tiny little fish hooks, which is not a big deal? Or am I seeing massive, gigantic hooks, like the hook that that like a wrecking ball would be hooked on as it comes and crashes through something? The size of the cord, the impact of the cord, the density of the cord is often represented by the image that I see. So if I see a tiny little pygmy dart, it's so not a big deal. Let's just pull it out and deal with it. If I see something that looks like a harpoon, all of a sudden I know that I'm working with something that's much deeper, much more tender, and is probably going to take a little bit more time to clear, and that I'm probably going to be a little bit more sore after the fact, because harpoons have history. They have sometimes multiple lines, multiple infractions that come maybe even from different people, different lifetimes, but they have the same theme. Okay, so I can't tell you all the symbols about all the things. And of course, it's not important what my symbols are. I want you guys to know what your symbols are. But the point of this piece of information is I want you to consider energetically maintaining yourself. Open up a journal and keep notes about the things you see and where you see them. And what you'll notice in time is that you're going to have recurring things. And if you are a healer and you work energetically on other people, those symbols that have meaning to you can also show up in somebody else's aura and give you information about what you're really dealing with. Another thing that you could see outside of quartz is perhaps, like I said, wounds. There are times in the auric field when I have seen gashes, cuts, scrapes, bruises. And we're talking out here in the energetic field, like out in this space. But a lot of the physical metaphors that I have that I know to be real as a human can show up in that energetic world to give me information. I sometimes look to find indentations or chunks that could be missing, just like literal holes, gaps in the aura, in the energy field. I look to the meridians of light, the actual structure of my light, like I said earlier, the rebarb of my light body, right? And I want to see, are the lines complete? Sometimes I see lines that all of a sudden a piece is missing out of it. Well, I don't know what that is, but I see something. And now I know I need to put a little bit of love and attention into it. So I want you guys to play with this a little bit in our exercise today. We're going to go through this same process again, but now I'm going to take a little bit more time and I'm going to introduce you to ways to heal certain things. Okay. And perhaps you have a thing and you're going to follow me and you're going to do the healing that I'm guiding. Perhaps you're going to have something totally separate and different. I'm going to say, take a look and see if there's any dents. And instead of dents, you're going to see scratches. Okay. Go with the scratches. Do your thing with the scratches. If your imagery doesn't match, or if you're being pulled to a different part of your body, follow your instincts, guys. Go with the flow. Okay. If I'm talking about the heart chakra, but your crown chakra is pulling your attention, get up there and do some work. Okay. So go with the flow, play with your imagery, and let's just see what happens. Okay. And for the record, because this is part of building your spiritual repertoire and your own ability to heal yourself, for those of you who love and appreciate your guides and who know how to work with the rays and so on and so forth, if you've got a million techniques and modalities, just for today, I want you to leave those aside. Oh, did Leanne say don't invite your guides? No, Leanne didn't say don't invite your guides. I just said let them stand at the perimeter, okay? Let them be the observers. And if you really need intervention, if you really can't cover something on your own and you really have no clue what to do, then let them step in. But if you're always turning to your guides and they're always the ones who are doing it for you and you're always delegating, then you're missing a really powerful lesson, guys. They don't want to do it for you. They want to remind you that you can do this for yourself. You have this power, okay? And it looks like they're the ones doing it when you ask for their help, but the truth is you're the one that's allowing it to happen in the first place. So I want you to know how amazing you are. And again, if you need a little help and assistance and a little bit of extra coaching, for sure, bring them in. They know that I would never kick them out of a process like this. Okay. So take those little eyeballs you guys are rolling at me and just tuck them back in. All right. All right, guys, bring your hands together. And this time we're going to do some clearing work. So it's going to be a little bit different. Take a deep breath. Let's bring our hands together. And now we're going to do some really awesome energetic clearing work. I want you to rub your hands together. Already, this is different. Breathe. And on purpose, don't just feel your breath and observe your breath. I want you to breathe. Breathe as big as you can, as deep as you can. Really breathe in. Really breathe out. Let's move some oxygen through your body, which right then and there is just super, super healing. So as you're rubbing your hands together, go ahead and close your eyes and breathe. Huff and puff if you must. Elongate your breath in, elongate your breath out, even if you feel like you're forcing it. Rub your hands together, and this simple action is going to turn on your light. This is you taking every single little pressure point on your palms, rubbing them together with friction, forcing them open, jacking open the meridian lines of light that run through your whole body, your whole structure. And you are demanding that your light turn on. You are demanding and creating that your chakra channels open, that your meridians release, that they connect. And so keep that nice big breath, really build your energy, really increase your brightness. And when you start to feel your hands gluing themselves together, when your left and your right palm are grabbing onto each other, when you feel, even in those little nooks and crannies, the stickiness, like you're pulling taffy, that's when you know that everything's open, that your flow is on, that your channels are opening and clearing. You might also feel some waves of heat. You might also feel some tingles. When you got that going on, then press your palms together and bring it into the heart. And as you come into the heart, take 3 big, beautiful heart centering breaths. And really exhale. These ones are not huffing and puffing breaths. These are just centering breaths. Turn your attention inward to the point of light in the very center of your heart. And whenever you begin clearing your own energy field, I always recommend starting at the heart, because this is your way to surrender your ego. Not only are you plugging in from your palms into the front of your heart chakra, you are very softly lifting the heart. If you haven't done that already, lift your heart chakra up. That changes your alignment. You are going to very softly bow your head down to tilt your third eye downwards, and you're going to feel it literally lining up with the middle finger of your hands. You're going to feel a nice gentle stretch across the back of your heart, the back of your throat chakra, and up and down your spine. Just breathe in, breathe out, and notice that already you are creating an alignment. And now again, I'm not going to rush through anything. I really want you guys to pay attention here. This is how to regulate your light. But there's a part of this that you just have to allow your light to regulate itself and get into connection with serving the flow of your energy, not making anything happen. You are not your ego bullying your light or bullying your body or bullying your chakras into functioning well. That does not work. You are a servant to the light within you. Your body is willing to respond, and your consciousness, your awareness, your attention is guiding that process. So we are just being very mindful, and we are going to honor what the body needs. So take a big deep breath, open the heart, and let your mind bow to the heart. As soon as you do this, as soon as you are coming from your heart, not from your ego, you're going to feel a nice little sway in your body. You're going to begin to feel like your insides are dancing or swirling. If you are leaning up against something, this is harder to feel. So perhaps for the first couple times, you can just not sit back in your chair, not lay down completely. Just find your pelvic floor, rock back and forth on it. Let your spine be elongated. Feel that central channel inside of your body plugging in. And then just feel the movement of alignment taking place within you. You can't make this happen, guys. You cannot force this. But the moment your heart opens, the moment you surrender the ego, the moment you take an authentic breath, this will happen. So now you know that you're coming from the right place. So from here, you can really start anywhere you want to. You can look at your Merkaba and come from the outside inside. You can move up and down your central channel, and you can observe anything that you want in between. So let's begin very sweetly with your central channel, because I want you to feel from the very top of your head to the base of your tailbone, a rod of light that moves through your 7 chakras. Okay. And at any moment now, once you feel that swaying is happening, you can relax your hands in your lap or against your heart, however you're comfortable. Okay. But you're still going to stay with me. Do not disappear. Don't treat this like a meditation. Don't go off into the ethers. Stay with me. Be responsible for your healing. And so, taking a nice, beautiful breath, let's start at the very top of the head and begin to connect in to the top of your central channel that is inside of your chakra body. So the center is the center of your crown chakra. And so as you are focusing on that channel of light that runs through your body, I want you to just observe the thickness and the diameter. Just know and sense that there is at least a thread of light that runs from the top of your head to the base of your tailbone. And then as you become observant of that, even by using your imagination, I want you to just allow it to open and to become more established. Let it fill with beautiful light. Perhaps you will allow it to become as thick as your pinky. Perhaps your central channel will become big enough that your whole fist could fit inside of it. Perhaps your central channel will become larger than your whole entire physical body. It really doesn't have a limit. So whatever is comfortable to you, I want you to feel and sense and connect to that central tube of light. Just picture it. You might observe that certain places along that channel might be tighter than other spaces. So check your channel and make sure that everywhere is even, that the whole channel is really bright and beautiful, and one thread of light, one cord of energy. Okay. So if there's any splits, if there's any tears, if it looks constricted somewhere, just take a moment and observe the part that's constricted and invite it to heal. Just patiently watch and observe as if you were expecting a healing to take place. And then, of course, because you are expecting it, guess what? A healing takes place. So scan your entire central channel and just notice that it is getting brighter and stronger and more established with every moment that you observe it. Notice the colors of the central channel, notice the depth of it, and notice at the very top of it that it is the center of your crown chakra flower. And as your crown chakra opens the center of its flower, the stem of light is full of radiance, and it is beautifully plugging down into your 7 chakras. This stem of light penetrates the center of your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root chakra. And almost instantly, even as I'm saying these chakras, your chakras are opening more to receive this light. So begin to feel that the central channel is not just material or physical in its substance. I want you to really see the light that it is composed of. It is your spiritual force. And this beautiful river of amazing brightness flows through this channel, and it feeds every single one of your chakras. So just take a few moments and start at the top of your head and feel a beautiful bright color of light filling this tube. Now that you have the channel, call in the light from your divine source and pull it down from the ethers above you. And imagine that this light is pooling in the center of your crown chakra, and that you are drawing it down through the stem, hydrating the stem, hydrating the flower. And almost instantly, it becomes brighter, it becomes stronger. your entire crown chakra flower, including its stem. And even from the bottom of the stem, the roots that go down into the earth are brightening, thickening, grounding, and becoming really infused with light and power, with healing, and with amazing resources. Okay? So just like you've done this, you've brightened up your entire crown chakra connection through your whole body. I want you to take a couple deep breaths and see if you can really unleash your crown chakra, really give it permission to show you what it looks like at its best. Okay? Because sometimes when we don't know what we're capable of, we somehow unconsciously limit it. So right now, I want you to imagine the most gorgeous, glorious, expanded, timeless flower, this radiant, beautiful thing that has almost 1,000 petals, that is so gigantic, so full of light, so full of energy, so full of absolute health and healing, that the stem is radiant and pure. It is bright and beautiful, so much so that you can barely see it. And these roots that are going down deep into the earth are really strong and present. And as the roots go down, each one of the roots creates multiple other roots that spread across the entire planet. And the central root from this crown stem is going all the way down into the very heart of the earth. And as you plug into the earth, I want you to allow yourself to really, really connect. Okay? So remember, one of the things that we observed earlier was the way that you are grounding in this moment. And I asked you, how grounded do you feel? How much do you sense like you belong here in this moment at this time? How are you in your connectivity? So just like we brightened up the top of this flower, I want you to start feeling some powerful, loving energy, really energizing your roots, sending them down, letting them become channels of information, channels of energetic light, and really connect to the life force energy of the earth. Give yourself permission to tap in to the resources here. Just like you're drilling for oil, like dig down into the earth through the rocks and the minerals, and like embed yourself into the crystals and the light technology of our beautiful planet. Remember that she has been here for ages and ages and ages, and that life on this planet is so abundant. And a lot of it is dormant. It remains unaccessed. And so as you tap into the earth, I want you to feel yourself really connecting to pockets of energy that are just waiting to be tapped into. And immediately I want you to feel those resources rising up through those roots, like your energetic roots are just soaking them up, bringing them up into the stem, up into the flower. And that crown chakra is pulling those beautiful resources from deep, deep, deep underneath you. And it is flowing through this flower, which is now becoming so energized that rather than a flower, it's starting to manifest as a big, gigantic tree of life. And you've heard this before, that you are connected imagery-wise to a tree of life. And so the flower inside of you becomes this massive force field outside of you. From the center outward, it grows and it has a larger presence. And so as you begin to feel the massive resources from underneath you, the abundance, the timelessness, the wisdom of the ages, begin to feel that the strength of this flower really expands and becomes a beautiful, bright, radiant tree. The deeper your roots go, the taller your branches can be. And just feel your branches stretching out, reaching upwards and outwards. And literally, guys, the sky is the limit. Really just reach, reach, reach as high as you can. Reach out as if the branches of your tree can cover the whole world. Feel the roots grabbing onto the earth as if it's a seed underneath your tree. And now, as your branches envelop the earth and as your beautiful energy reaches all the way up to the source, imagine that it gets so big that it touches the heart of God, the heart of spirit. And just like you've grounded down into this planet, now begin to feel yourself grounding upwards, ground into your light. Trees and flowers pull energy from the light above them and convert it into energy. But they also draw in the nourishment from the earth beneath them and convert that into energy. And your light body, your entire system does exactly the same. So take a couple more nice deep breaths and just find a nice comfortable depth, a nice comfortable width of your tree. Feel your branches strong and yet flexible. Feel your roots connected yet not controlling. And just breathe in all the light and nourishment from above and below. And now go back into your body. Feel the flower inside of the tree. Feel the stem of light, so pure, so bright, like a vein inside of this great big tree. And breathe into your third eye center and just see it bright and open. It's already open because your tree would not be able to achieve this level if you weren't open in all your chakras. But I just want to give you a moment to see your chakras working. So your third eye is kind of like the light of a lighthouse. It opens to the front, it opens to the back, it gives you the vision, and it really like has the ability to look out in 360 degrees to the world around you. It helps you to see above you and below you, outside and inside. So consider for just a moment that third eye chakra wide open and receiving beautiful information, seeing and sensing the truth of your light and your power everywhere. It's a place where all your senses come together, where you get to create understanding. So if there's anything that in your third eye chakra comes to you as a symbolism, whether you're seeing a lighthouse or if you're seeing yourself sitting at a computer station, because this is literally the mainframe of your mind, whatever you see when you come into the third eye chakra, give yourself permission to work with that metaphor. And then, just like we brightened up the flower that turned into this great big tree of life, I want you to clean up your third eye. What are you seeing in your third eye? Perhaps if you're looking at a computer screen, the screen might be off. Turn the screen on. And then if you're cluttered with programs, we'll delete everything that's useless to you and brighten up your system, optimize your system. You guys know how to do this on your phones and on your computers. Perhaps that's something that works with you to open up the mind. Perhaps you want to see just a plug and you're plugging into an outlet, and that gives you that message that I'm plugged in psychically and the energy's flowing. If you are in a lighthouse, perhaps crank up the wattage of the light. Those are some examples, but I don't want to tell you what to see. So just go into the center of your third eye and know that you are accessing an infinite source of truth, the infinite field of the mind. All the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the information that you've ever gathered from any one of your physical or psychic senses is housed here. And some of it is useful and some of it is not useful. Just brighten up your third eye. And you can use very simple imagery. Take out the garbage, pull out some Windex. I like the image of Visine because, of course, it's an eye. So I have a spiritual eyedropper. And so I always refresh my third eye before I do any kind of psychic work. And I see my third eye just blinking and clearing the window screen of my vision so that it's nice and crystal clear. So go ahead and do whatever you need to do to really brighten up your third eye. And take a nice big deep breath. There you go. Good. Feel the point where your skull meets your spine. And that's the back of your third eye chakra, guys. So bring all of your attention to that physical point and scan the area between that point and the little bump that's at the base of your neck. So you're going to be scanning the space between your third eye chakra at the back of it and the back of your throat chakra. And I want you to just notice and observe anything inside of your physical body and anything outside of you in your aura that requires your attention. There's a very special connection here between the third eye and the throat. And a lot of mental controlling goes on in this area of your body. So if you've ever had what I call influencers, people who would love to control the way that you think about something, you might see energetic cords, you might see symbols of impressions that other people have left of their opinions of how you should live or what you should do. So as you scan this whole area, just notice the metaphor of what's available here for healing between your third eye and your throat chakra. And then intuitively, just take a nice big deep breath and do whatever makes sense to you to express how you want this to heal. So for example, if there are energetic cords, you could perhaps choose to unplug them. You might touch them and they will dissolve. Or maybe you have a tool or an instrument that is specifically yours that maybe you've been given by a guide. This is a great time for you to pull it out and clear the space. At the back of the throat chakra, oftentimes we hold our responsibilities and our duties, all the weight of the world. So you might literally just be looking at a whole planet sitting on your shoulders or sitting on that little space at the bump of your neck. And if that's the case, take the weight of the world and do something with it. Put it into the light. Again, touch it with your intention and expect it to release and heal. Whatever you create in your imagination, whatever you allow yourself to receive, whatever you perceive, that will become your new truth. So what would you do if you had baggage on your throat chakra? What would you do if you literally had a cord stuck through there? Take a few moments and just feel that beautiful space being healed and cleared. And now, once it's cleared, take a look at the back of your throat and the back of your third eye and ask yourself, is there anything that I can do to brighten those chakras up, to help them to become protected and stronger and more connected together? What would I like to create here? Perhaps you need to call on some beautiful healing rays. Perhaps you would like to create a bridge of light. Perhaps you would like to create something that is very practical. For example, if your throat chakra is feeling really weak in the front or the back, you might create a neck brace, something that would help your throat chakra to relax a little bit, to feel like it was held up. But maybe a neck brace is not very elegant. Perhaps you want to create the image of like a collar or a shield around your chakras. Use your imagination here, guys. Have some fun with this. And then as you let go of the weight of the world on your shoulders, as you forgive and release the influencers of your lower mind that are always feeding you fear, just let all that go and take a couple of nice, beautiful breaths and reclaim the power to control your own mind, to be the only one to influence your thoughts, to bless and to release those outside observers, the audience of the mind, the critics of the mind. There we go. Now begin to feel that space even outside of your physicalness, going out into the aura, becoming lighter and lighter and lighter. There you go. Good. Take a deep breath. Feeling your crown full of light, feeling your third eye full of light, and feeling your throat chakra full of light. Just breathe. Good. So we could go down through all of your chakras, but right now I trust that you could do this on your own. So let me show you a few other things. See if you can come to yourself now and observe you from outside of you. Go and hover in the field of light that is your aura and turn back and look at you. Not for judgment and criticism, but notice your light body. Be the part of yourself that is pure consciousness, looking back as an observer at your spirit. See your entire body created out of light. What kind of light do you see? Is it flames? Is it rays or beams of light? Are you a big bright sun? What do you see? What do you sense? What do you feel? What do you know? If you were to know yourself as a body of light, know the size and the shape that you would be. You don't have to look like an actual human being. If you were to see and sense your light body, what would that be like? And now I want you to scan your actual light body. Go into the structure of your light and take a look through your grid lines, through your meridians, through your chakras and your acupuncture points, as if it is all one big beautiful system of light where there are lines and there are points and certain things are bright and certain things are just not quite so bright, and that's okay. But take a look at the structure of your light body. It's no different than if you could see all of your bones, or if you could see all of your muscles, or all of your organs, or if you could see inside the structure of a cell. Just take a look inside of your light body and picture the lines of light, the structure of light. And see if there is anywhere in your light body technology where there is a need for repair. And as you take a couple beautiful deep breaths, just kind of breathe in and breathe out. And get to work. Start editing your lines, again, by expecting a response from your light body. Wherever you are putting your attention, you are infusing your light, your healing technology, your beautiful willpower to create a healing. So if you see anything there that needs to be repaired, go ahead and take care of that now. Take a nice big deep breath in. Take a nice big deep breath out. Now begin to feel, after you've done this repair work, that everything is just a little bit brighter, a little bit stronger. Kind of like if you changed the wattage in your electricity in your home and you had greater bandwidth for your internet connection, for example. So now you've got reinforced bandwidth, wider bandwidth, you've got higher wattage. Now look at your beautiful light body and see how bright and beautiful and powerful you are. Notice that you have turned up the energy. Good. Take a deep breath. And now I'd like to invite you to back up just a little bit further outside of yourself. Or if you prefer to go back inside of yourself, that's okay too. But turn around whichever way you're going and take a look at your perimeter, your force field of protection, the beautiful aura, the sphere of light that is around your body. And again, I want to invite you to really just observe the structure of your perimeter. Use your consciousness to scan every inch of the surface of your protective shield. And notice, how is your protective shield showing itself to you? What does it look like? What is it made out of? Is there a texture? Is there a quality? Is there a color? How big is the space around you? And is that the happiest distance that you want it to be at? So if your perimeter is tight around your physical body, don't assume that that's where it wants to be. Assume rather that that's where you're holding it. But if it is capable of relaxing and finding its most perfect distance from your center, allow yourself to move that perimeter to create more than enough room for you, more than enough room for this new level of brightness, this new infusion of light and healing, this new quality of empowerment, and all these extra resources that you're now holding. And as you push your perimeter outwards, and as you reinforce this perimeter with your light, not with your ego, notice that it is becoming brighter, thicker, that it is in full repair. Everything is in perfection. Any dents or scratches, any penetrations, anything that has perhaps drained energy from your perimeter, from the dome or the sphere or the shape around you, just know that it is coming back to perfection. If there's anything else that you would like to do to your perimeter to reinforce it, you are welcome to do that. All right, my friends, so now take a nice big deep breath. You have reinforced your energetic shield. You have repaired your entire light body grid. You have really created a healing in your crown chakra, your third eye, and your throat chakras. And now I want you to take a blessing from the universe, from your big, beautiful, bright spirit, a big infusion of light, a gift of love, something that would be a really generous, sweet, self-loving blessing. Maybe it's a healing. Maybe it's some abundance. Maybe it's just an I love you note. Take something back into yourself and place it into your heart. And give yourself a really generous, loving gift of energy. And as you bring this into your heart center, whatever it is that you receive, just kind of consume it with your entirety. Bring it into your heart center, but then distribute this gift throughout your entire vibration and allow it to give you a healing. Allow it to give you whatever quality this thing represents. And as you take a few deep breaths, as you integrate this gift, this message, this healing into yourself, just become aware of what you are creating. If you give yourself a sword, for example, intuit that you are now restoring your power to yourself. If you are giving yourself an object, know what that object represents, what the quality, the vibration, the light within it means. If you're giving yourself a healing, see that healing and all of those healing vibes going into the place of your body or your mind or your spirit or your history, even your karma, in the place where that healing is necessary. Very beautiful. And now take a moment as you come all the way back into your physicalness. Feel the light that you've created around yourself and through yourself. Imagine your human body beautifully centered around this crown chakra flower, grounded beautifully into the earth. And around you is this magnificent tree of life where you are connected above and below. And throughout that entire tree, just like the many branches that it holds, there's the matrix of your light in perfection. Your chakras are spinning, they are balanced, they are connected. We've cleared cords and stagnant energies at the back of your lower thinking mind. We've cleared your fears and opened up your psychic abilities. And we've really brightened your access to your light. And then around all of this, we have set the shield. We have reinforced your perimeter so that all the good stuff can connect to you. And so nothing can harm you. Take a few moments and be here in this beautiful space, feeling the blessings that you've given yourself. Feel the alignment, the balance, the energy, and the peace. Feel your powerful breath coming in, fully receiving all that is life. And exhale with great confidence, contributing to life, all that is within you. And now as you tune your mind and your heart to your guides and your guardians who have been here supporting your healing, as you open up your channel to God's love and light, just receive any final messages or any blessings that they wish to give to you. Give yourself permission to receive any dispensations, any miraculousness, any healings, any messages or guidance, any clearings, any boons and blessings. And now as you bring your palms back together in prayer position at the heart center, press them consciously together. Seal this healing. In all of your heart, mind, body, and spirit, accept this beautiful gift of alignment. Everything that no longer serves you has been released for the time being. Everything that is serving to you has come in and connected and integrated. And so as you press your palms together, just feel the blessing of the highest source, enveloping this healing in total completion. Sweet, sweet, sweet love. Let's take a moment to offer our gratitudes to life, to ourselves, to that beautiful source within us, and to the source from where that source within comes from, to all of life, to all this beautiful treasure of light, to every breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you are ready, just take a couple deep breaths, feeling centered and grounded and balanced. Come on back, nice and easily, one breath at a time. Softly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your body, your neck and your shoulders, however you wish. And when you are ready, my friends, you can open your eyes and come all the way back. Namaste. All right, guys, deepen your breath, pull it in, energize yourself a little bit. Big deep exhales out. Ground yourself back here and now. Feel free to take a drink of water. Feel free to ground. All right. So guys, thank you so much for letting me take you through this process and to teach you a little bit how to use your imagination, how to work with your symbology. Of course, I didn't get to cover nearly as much in our second meditation as I did in the first one because we were just observing, but to take the time to really go in and heal certain things, I wanted to pick a couple of highlights that I felt were really important for the entire group. So week 4 of the spiritual maintenance program is going to be covering a lot more of these topics, and we're just going to be going in and out and making sure that you are optimized and full of light and having some fun doing it. So I hope you enjoyed this wonderful program. It's certainly going to be a great taste of what's to come. And I hope that if you have any questions, you will feel free to share them, or if you want to talk about your experiences, you are welcome to do so. That would be my pleasure to hear how this went for you. Are you guys back? I think I can see the whites of some of your eyes. Anybody got anything that you want to share? Hold on, I got a couple things in the chat. Let me read those. Sherry, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thank you. Jeannie, you felt itchy. Where did you feel itchy? Everywhere? Your third eye, of course. And your throat as you were opening all that stuff up. I'm not surprised. Very cool. Physical sensations are oftentimes really noticeable when you're doing this kind of clearing work. And guys, for the next 24 to 48 hours, because we moved a lot of energy, it might not feel like we did, but we did. For the next couple of hours, you might have movement in your emotions, in your physicalness, in your light body, even for the next 24 to 48 hours, you might have some detoxing going on. Okay. Sometimes even longer. It's just part of the process. Depending on how deep you went and how much you let go of, you might even have instantaneous, miraculous healings. That's very, very, very common when you're doing this level of work, when you're just tuning into yourself and asking for spirit to be present. And if you get some of those, that's really great. I'm very happy for you. And healing does not have to be complicated. It does not have to take a lot of time. In my experience, healing is always, it's loving, it's quick, it's not complicated. When the ego's not involved and when the ego's not in charge, spontaneous, miraculous, effortless, unexplicable, unreasonable, and permanent healing is what happens. Literally, stuff just disappears to the point that it disappears sometimes so much that you have no idea what it is that you went in to fix in the first place. Like, you truly can't even remember what the problem originally was. That's what I mean by disappearance. And there's some really great healings that you'll get working at this level, guys. Things will just disappear and you'll be like, wait, what is it that disappeared? I just don't remember. That happens, believe it or not. Okay. So Jeannie, a little itch. Good. Are you feeling still itchy, or did that pass? It's gone. Okay, cool. One of the things that you guys will notice is when you're doing energetic clearing work, something might come up, and then when it's done, it passes really, really quickly. It doesn't take a long time for things to move or to shift. And that's just a great sign that you've got a nice little breakthrough going on. Okay. Any other thoughts? Any other feelings? Any other questions? Nope. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I have loved these past 4 weeks, and I hope that you will consider being a part of the spiritual maintenance plan. If you have any questions or if you need help registering for it, starting next week, we go back into the same cycle. So next week is all about healing with the archangels. The week after will be about healing with the ascended masters, and we're working with the rays again, and then more energetic clearing. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate for a second to ask us. And until we meet again, know that I love you. I'm so grateful for you. And it's always, always a pleasure to connect. So thanks for being you. Keep up the great work. Go love yourself, love everyone, and have a good time doing it, guys. Mwah! Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody.